I wonder what our forefathers would think about how we're treating their constitutional republic right now. Would they feel that the sacrifice that they made was respected, that we carried on the tradition of liberty, freedom, and justice? Would they wonder how far do they have to go before more people will vote with their money, vote with their voice, take action and do something to defend America and its values, its people, and its future? I'm just curious, does anybody think what's happening right now is good? Does anybody think that we're doing a great job? Does anybody think that it's going to get better before it gets worse? Because the sad reality of this modern mental war, this information war, is that each of us individually has to play our part in order to topple a overbearing power hell-bent on controlling everything forever. And if more people don't play their specific role in this fight, we're doomed. The single instrument that all people work for day in and day out throughout their entire life and pass on to their children and their children's children is money. And most people don't even understand it, where it comes from, how it gains and loses value, and its significance as a tool, an instrument of personal freedom. The single thing that you work for every single day is being inflated away by a Federal Reserve system, a fiat money system where they can print money out of thin air, insert more cash into circulation, and devalue the money that you already have. But since most people don't even understand it, they don't even realize that the value of the thing that they work for their entire life is eroding right in front of their face. It's eroding right out of their pocket without them even using it. And now this inflation is raising at a faster clip than in a really long time. And it's not a right issue, it's not a left issue, they both do it. They print, the money goes down, and we all lose. It's a hidden tax, and it's happening to everybody. Because we are witnessing a systematic dismantling of everything America holds dear. Everything really that the world holds dear. They're taking the freedom, they're taking the liberty, they're taking the independence of the free-thinking people and the free market, and they're stealing it away. And the way that they do it is by hiding, by creating distractions, by obfuscating the truth, by convincing most people that it's not a problem, and emotionally manipulating the vast majority of people that don't pay attention or only pay attention sometimes, that this is a good thing. It's in their best interest. It's to protect them. Under the guise of protection, they can take and steal everything. And some people ask and beg them to take it away. As more money is created out of thin air and inserted into the marketplace without any additional output, the price and cost of living goes up and the quality of life goes down. Everyday consumer goods go up in price and decrease in quality, higher than normal prices for chicken, beef, pork, milk, eggs, paper towels, paper products, diapers, gasoline, housing, rent, every single thing around you going up in price, decreasing in value. Cost of living goes up, quality of life goes down. Under the guise of protecting you, they make it more difficult for you to drill and extract gas and oil from the earth for us to use our natural resources, especially the ones that are here in America. They cut off pipelines, efficient ways to distribute it. They force you to purchase it from overseas actors, many of whom don't even like us. They increase the cost of those goods, and the price is felt the most in the lower and middle class. Your gas goes up, and here comes the winter. Guess what's going to be more expensive than in a really long time? Fuel, heat, oil. You're going to have blackouts. You're going to have increased costs to cool and heat your home. This affects everybody, but it affects people in the middle and lower class the most. It creates unnecessary human suffering under the guise of protection. They say they're doing it to protect you. They force you to now go and buy electric cars, battery-powered vehicles. They force by decree for you to move to these more energy-efficient vehicles, benefiting the people at the top and hurting the people in the bottom the most. As they increase these costs of fuel, all these different manufacturers that are overseas that possess all of the rare minerals that are used to make batteries and a variety of other things, all of those nations, they all go up in value, and we all suffer as a result. They gaslight you, the individual, and act like you're not doing enough to help save the world, help save the earth. We're trying to force you to protect yourself. Meanwhile, the individual is the lowest polluter. They don't focus on the countries that pollute the most. They don't focus on the policies that create the most pollution. They blame you. They ban things like straws, yet they insert hundreds of thousands, if not millions upon millions of masks into the ocean. You take away one thing and you do something 10 times worse. Then they take control of the flow of information. They get you to believe that your neighbor is the bad guy, your family member, your friend, your coworker, the person that lives next to you in your neighborhood. That's the person that is reprehensible. That's the person who's the bad guy. They constantly distract you from your true enemy. The true enemy is the person who's trying to control every aspect of your life, tell you what to do, where to do it, who to do it with, and who's bad if they don't follow the rules. They control the free distribution of thought. They emotionally manipulate anybody who is susceptible to it, including the people who pay attention and especially the ones who don't. They create problems where there are none. They create distractions when they see something that's far worse than what they're trying to point your attention to. They stoke and fuel the divide between people based on color, race, religion, creed, location, appearance, and political affiliation. They force the divisiveness as a distraction from the true grift, the true nature of what they're doing. They needlessly squander trillions of dollars, especially overseas. And then they suggest to you that people here are not paying their fair share, that the rich or some smaller class of people that won't be able to speak up without anybody caring. They try to tell you that those people need to pay more. They need to pay their fair share. And they gaslight you away from the person from the entities that are really squandering all of the wealth, burning it away into nothingness, shipping it around the world and wasting it for nothing. They engage in seedy, undercut, backdoor deals in plain sight, without any repercussion, without any recourse whatsoever. They're all on a team and we're all off it. They insider trade. They break ethics deals. They fight back and forth like cats and dogs, like children, when behind closed doors, they're all getting paid. Their money's going up. They're all becoming millionaires, tens of millionaires, and in certain cases, 100 millionaires, while they watch all of us suffer, while they act like children. This guy said this, and this girl said this, constantly playing into the charade, acting, pretending like they're doing something, gaslighting you, getting you to clap for them, vote for them, put them back into power, while the only person that they fight for is themselves. Then comes election time. They beg for your dollars, pretend that they're fighting for you, only to come back when it's time to cast another vote. They receive all your money, beg for your donations. Meanwhile, they're the ones that have vastly more money than your average everyday citizen. They emotionally manipulate you into supporting them at the time that they need it. And then as soon as you become inconvenient and unnecessary, they discard you till the side, till the next rotation where it's time for them to gather more cash again, so they can absorb power again, so they can snake you right in front of your face. They keep you distracted with this endless two-party trap. It's right, it's left, it's the libs, it's the Dems, it's the right, it's the Republicans. Meanwhile, they will print as much money or approve as much money as long as their guy or their gal is in power. They are complete hypocrites on both sides of the aisle all the time without fail. They keep us entangled and embroiled in foreign affairs around the entire planet, in endless wars, constantly feeding the military-industrial complex with an endless flow of tax dollars, taking your money and squandering it overseas, enriching a very select few people that have all the inroads to all of these people. They sacrifice our youth, the bravest among us, the military, the firemen, the first responders, the police officers. They put them in harm's way at any time for any reason, just so they can score political points. These people are nothing more than a statistic to them, and they just use them as an instrument to maintain and absorb more power. They fill the airways with meaningless platitudes. They're our heroes, our frontline heroes. Thanks, we back the blue, we back the fire. And then when it becomes politically inconvenient, they cast them to the side. They're not real heroes. They were just using them as instruments, as pieces and points on their board, so they could gain empathy, so they could gain support, so they could gain cash, so they could gain power. The crime rates are up. The murder rates are up. The amount of unnecessary, needless human suffering is rising at a rate not seen in decades. Yet they'll say that they need to defund them, take their money away, demonize them, Yell at people that are doing their job and blame all of their misdeeds on them, on the people who have no voice. And they just throw them, cast them right away, right under the bus as soon as it becomes inconvenient to them. And most people are none the wiser. Then they'll take a crisis and they'll hide in plain sight. They'll lie with statistics. They'll tell you what it is and how many people are affected. Then they'll lie when they put out some solution, what effects that it has, how it's impacting people. They'll lock you at home. They'll take away your business. They'll destroy your generational wealth and thus your independent freedom. And they'll make you beg for more of it. They'll emotionally manipulate people to believing that this is the only way. This is the just way. They'll only agree with the science that supports their narrative. They'll believe these people, but not those. They will silence anybody who disagrees, and they will make people beg to be controlled. And if you don't bend the knee for them, if you aren't subservient and follow along with whatever their decree is, despite your own research, despite your own beliefs, despite your own understanding of reality in the world around you, they will demonize you, cast you aside, blame you, call you names, say that you are lower IQ, say that you are disrespectful to the structure, say that you don't care about others. They will remove you from society, remove your freedoms, force you to present some evidence that you followed along with their decree. Otherwise, you deserve to be ostracized, to be demonized, to be removed from smart and intelligent society. They'll distract you and play on your heartstrings, emotionally manipulate you with colorful language, try to create a crisis where there is none. Say, look over here, this is horrible, this is reprehensible, this doesn't represent us. Meanwhile, just a little bit to the right or to the left, something far worse happened where people perished and they don't even care. They successfully emotionally manipulate you to look the other way while much more horrible things happen right under your nose. They'll tell you that there's this grave crisis, that people are suffering, and then they will artificially create a problem that makes it far worse by removing qualified individuals that are capable of helping to solve these problems, and they'll remove them. They want you to suffer. They want your neighbors to suffer. They want you to feel the pain and pressure because it's the easiest way for them to advance their grasp of your freedom. They won't teach you about money. They won't teach you about health. They won't even encourage you to be healthy. They'll keep you locked up and mired with fear in a perpetual state of low vibration, mired with anxiety. They'll pump you full of pills. They'll pump you full of lies. They'll pump you full of stress. And then they'll come up with the solutions for those problems that they helped to create. They'll hide the truth. They'll create suffering in exchange for dollars. They'll do anything for your money. They'll do anything for your power. They'll do anything for your freedom. And they will never stop. If only the people could realize that there are more of us than there are of them. There is more good than there is evil. There is more strength and power in intelligent thought organization and free exchange of thoughts, ideas, and beliefs that we could save the world. Yes, you. Yes, me. Yes, us. Their power is limited. It is only bequeathed to them by people who willingly give it up. Because the true measure of our integrity, the true measure of our bravery, the true measure of what type of people we were at this very crucial moment in time is about to happen. Will you stand up for others? Will you stand up for freedom? Will you stand up for liberty? Will you stand up for the weaker among us? Will you stand up for future generations? Will you stand up for yourself? Will you stand up for America? In the words of George Washington, at this auspicious period, the United States came into existence as a nation, and if their citizens should not be completely free and happy, the fault will be entirely their own.